In this video, we'll explore the comic book that links the smash hit Aquaman movie to the eagerly anticipated new film, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Aquaman balances his duties as king and as a member of the Justice League, all while planning a wedding. Black Manta is on the hunt for Atlantean tech to help rebuild his armor. Orm plots to escape his Atlantean prison. 3 action-packed tales crammed into a single special. The first Aquaman movie navigates the fine line between absurdity and condescension. The story revolves around Arthur Curry, a half-human, half-Atlantean prince, directed by James Wan. It belongs to a subcategory of superhero films including Spider-Man, Homecoming, Thor, Ragnarok, Venom, and both Ant-Man movies, films that embrace a sweet, goofy, and at times psychedelically weird approach, rejecting the grimness often mistaken for maturity. Aquaman manages to blend spoof and operatic melodrama, creating a memorable cinematic experience. While Aquaman previously appeared in the films Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, this film marks his solo debut. The narrative, skillfully crafted by screenwriters David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick and Will Bill, unfolds as an origin story, portraying Arthur as a reluctant hero torn between two worlds. Born of the union between a lighthouse keeper named Tom Curry and a stranded Atlantean named Atlanta, Arthur grapples with his mixed heritage. With long hair, tattoos, a penchant for wisecracks, and a love for beer, Arthur rejects allegiance to either land or sea, seeking only solitude. However, propelled by the idealistic Atlantean Mera, he becomes a unifier when radical forces led by his treacherous half-brother Orm aim to retaliate against land dwellers for polluting and militarizing the ocean. Amidst bruising fights, laser shootouts, and aquatic clashes, Aquaman emphasizes resolution through conversation, negotiation, and forgiveness. The movie challenges traditional gender norms by portraying men and women crying without stigma. Beyond its wild spectacle and cleverness, Aquaman stands as a quietly subversive and evolutionary step forward for the superhero genre. The highly anticipated sequel is underway, as Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is scheduled for release in December 2023. While there is widespread speculation about the movie's plot, we're here to provide you with genuine insights straight from the comic book. Ready for a sneak peek into the story? Let's plunge into the details. Act 1. Changing Tides unfolds at the Wayne Foundation Science and Technology Conference in New York City, where a group of villains seizes scientists and engineers. Leading this group of baddies is Great White, a formidable woman with a vendetta against the Justice League. Their objective is to reclaim power from immortals and gods like Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Aquaman and Wonder Woman burst in through the glass ceiling, and Aquaman sets the tone by cracking a joke about his shuffleboard skills. The villain's leader opens fire on an ambassador, but the Flash intervenes, saving the day. Flash reveals that these villains were expelled from the Marines for stealing classified information, including plans for a mysterious device called a metabomb. This device utilizes apocalyptian residual energies to reprogram DNA. Diana attempts to reason with the villains, but Great White says screw it and hurls a knife at the metabomb. Meanwhile, 48 feet below the surface in the Hudson River, Charybdis and his wife Scylla, revealed as international terrorists, plot a more sinister scheme. Disregarding the metabomb, they exploit the chaos caused by the Marines to divert the attention of the superheroes. Their true aim is to cash oil company checks and eliminate the competition by launching a torpedo at the facility's supports. The underwater duo intends to create a catastrophic scenario that goes beyond the superhero confrontation above. Meanwhile, the energy from the metabomb is seeping out uncontrollably. Flash races against time to transport the volatile device to Antarctica, hoping to avert disaster. However, Arthur, taking matters into his own hands, submerges himself and the bomb underwater, counting on the depths to absorb the impacts of the impending explosion. Unbeknownst to Aquaman, his disarming of the metabomb triggers a cataclysmic blast at the very location where an evil couple had plotted to launch a torpedo. The explosion claims the life of the terrorist Scylla. Having accomplished their mission successfully, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman reunite, and Arthur hints at his upcoming royal wedding. The scene shifts to Atlantis, where the Council of Kings announces the impending union of King Arthur of Atlantis and Mera of Zebel, scheduled for the next day. Preparations for the grand wedding are underway, and Arthur expresses surprise at the scale of the festivities to his mother, Atlanta. Mera joins the scene, and the soon-to-be wed couple takes a moment together. While examining a scratch on Arthur's body, Mera expresses concern about his increasing number of enemies due to his involvement with the Justice League. Disturbed and enveloped in foreshadowing, she walks away. Meanwhile, outside Roanoke, Virginia, rogue Marines engage in a blame game, attributing the failure of their plan to Aquaman. Suddenly, Charybdis intervenes, attacking a security van with his newfound powers, fueled by the bomb that altered his life. He touches Great White, transforming her into an actual human-shark hybrid. Now known as the Great White Shark, Charybdis declares his intent to take further action, especially against Aquaman. Meanwhile, Vulko and Arthur initiate their training, but Arthur remains humble. During their discussion, they talk about Mera's desire for Arthur to change. Vulko imparts valuable life advice, and Arthur heads to his bachelor party. To his surprise, the party turns out to be a game of mini-golf with his dad. The following day, the royal wedding is on the verge of starting, but Arthur is conspicuously absent. Mera is extremely annoyed. And just as the ceremony begins, the Great White, transformed by Charybdis, attacks the royal wedding, causing widespread chaos. As the Atlantean people struggle to defend themselves, Arthur finally arrives, soaring in. An irked Mera reprimands him while fighting off the sharks. In the midst of the battle, Arthur recognizes Great White and uses telepathy to extract information from her. Great White reveals that Charybdis seeks revenge on Arthur for killing Scylla, claiming to have absorbed Arthur's powers and thoughts, knowing his weaknesses. Simultaneously, an attack on the power-supplying steam fields threatens Atlantis. Arthur and Vulko rush to the vent to save it. The location is a realm of high-pressure boiling sea with tectonic instability, shrouded in darkness due to minerals in the water. They discover a giant crab attacking the machines, stabilizing the plates. Charybdis intends not only to envelop Atlantis in darkness, but also to tear it apart with seaquakes. During the confrontation, Vulko gets injured while shielding Arthur, and the situation looks dire. Charybdis launched an attack on Arthur when he was alone, asserting that Arthur didn't deserve a wife, leading to an escalating fight. However, Arthur, drawing strength from his conscience, manages to assert dominance over Charybdis. In a moment of realization, Charybdis acknowledged his own responsibility for his lover's demise, having dragged her to the location in pursuit of power. Arthur successfully stops the tremors and stabilizes the plates amid the chaos, allowing his marriage to Mera to culminate with an auspicious kiss. Despite being in the hospital, Vulko sent his best wishes to the newlyweds. Charybdis remains trapped deep in an ocean cave. As Arthur and Mera shared an intimate moment, Mera revealed she was pregnant. Act 3, titled After Image, unfolds in the ocean near Amnesty Bay, Maine, where Black Manta was heading somewhere. Someone addressed him by his real name, David, and spoke about David's father. The man claimed to have tracked down David's father and mentioned an Atlantean artifact, a puzzle cube that David's grandfather had recovered during his Frogman days in the war. The man emphasizes the saying that the sharpest knife is the one that cuts most frequently and gives the artifact to Manta. Manta immediately stabs a knife into the puzzle cube, seemingly destroying it, and sulks off, saying he needs to be alone. He plunges into the ocean depths, pondering how his father navigated the high-pressure depths without modern technology. In the underwater abyss, he uncovers his father's blade, contemplating the qualifications needed to be a true Manta. Undeterred, Black Manta ventures to the Himalayas, determined to prove himself. As he scales the icy peaks, he confronts a snow leopard, unaware of the deeper meaning behind his struggles and journey. Arriving at the remote Point Nemo in the South Pacific Ocean, Manta continues his odyssey, discovering his true potential and perceiving his father's tests as challenges to his limits and resilience. Now at the Strait of Malacca, Manta plots to conquer Captain Brill's ship, a formidable rival to his father. In a stealthy assault, David eliminates the guards one by one and ultimately defeats the captain, revealing his true identity. Engaged in a battle with the ship's crew, David gains insights into the qualities of a true captain. However, his seemingly effortless victories face a formidable challenge when a woman emerges, providing genuine competition. Despite the tough encounter, David overcomes her, solidifying his position as a real captain. Reflecting on Aquaman's declaration as the ocean's king, David shares his vision while stumbling upon a letter from his father aboard the ship. His journey to becoming the strongest captain concludes with triumphant success. In the tale, the woman reveals to him the discovery made by a scout in Antarctica. Captain Brill, too fearful to pursue it, suspects it to be of Atlantean origin. David grants permission for the expedition. Act 3 narrative After Image concludes with David realizing his potential as a capable captain, looking out over Act 4. Rattling the Cage commences with Arthur's brother, Orm, boldly asserting that his story is far from over and no prison can hinder his destiny. Orm, resolute on achieving something significant, is determined to escape. Collaborating with fellow inmates, he plots a scheme of destruction. Reflecting on his father, he draws inspiration to proceed. Initiating a fierce struggle to secure his escape, Orm envisions returning to Atlanta as a king. He vows to reclaim mastery over the ocean, foreseeing a compelling future when he closes his eyes. Pressing forward, Orm completes his tasks, systematically overcoming the guards one by one. His unwavering determination is fixated on claiming the throne. Weeks or perhaps even months could pass. But within the prison walls, time became an abstract concept devoid of meaning. In his moments of vulnerability, he questioned whether he deserved his confinement. The nagging doubt lingered. Was he the villain that the people of Atlantis perceived him to be? Orm, resolute in his purpose, refused to let uncertainty obstruct the divine plan set out for him. No one would be allowed to impede his path. Recalling the vent, Orm believes he holds the element of surprise, ensuring the guards wouldn't have the chance to raise an alarm before succumbing to his actions. He shows them the same mercy they had denied him. Nothing, he vowed, would obstruct his journey toward destiny. Upon discovering the exit, Orm, fueled by the last remnants of his strength, navigates through the concealed floor, a mere 10-foot sprint away from the maintenance shaft leading to the surface. To his dismay, additional guards await him, one stepping forward to declare that his plan was destined for failure. The guards overwhelmed Orm, tightening their grip, and he began to comprehend the grim reality that he would never break free from the prison's clutches. In this desperate moment, Orm recognized that the title of the Ocean Master, once so prominent, had become a distant memory after years of incarceration. Contemplating whether he was the wrong brother for the throne, he considers that his suffering might serve Atlantis best. Perhaps his enduring pain would facilitate the healing of those he had harmed, ensuring that no one could escape their inevitable fate. Thus, Orm seems to acknowledge that this was where his story and his journey end, or does it? This latest installment in the DC Extended Universe, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, serves as a continuation of the gripping story set up in the highly successful 2018 film Aquaman. So what is in store for us in Aquaman The Lost Kingdom? Surely there will be plot twists and surprises, but you now have some inside info and are better prepared to impress your friends on the way to the movies. We release comic book videos weekly, so make sure to like and subscribe.